So what's actually gone wrong with the bike then? Okay, so the first thing that went wrong was one of the pilot lights down here. That failed, so I swapped that out for Hitchcock's LEDs. That was a simple job, obviously. The next thing that failed was the side stand switch. The body completely cracked, and so I changed that. Apparently it's a common fault. Hitchcock sell tons of those. I was talking to them and they said, yeah, it's just a regular thing. So that failed. Anything else? There's quite a lot of rusty patches on this. Things like the indicator stalks where they mount to the bike. The mounts themselves are rusty. And the chrome wheel rims. Try to say that when I'm drunk. They've played up and got a bit rusty. Tyres were alright, they lasted a while and then became unrideable very quickly. Out the box, no good for a lot of stuff. But there you go. That's the way these things are. It needs the cush drive renewing, and I'm going to have to put more attention to the back brake. That occasionally is still slipping despite the sticking, despite the fact that I've lubricated it on more than one occasion since the MOT. Still on the original train and sprockets, obviously, despite the fact it lives a hard life. The worst thing to fail was the throttle cable, and I think the replacement is going to have a short lifespan as well. Now, the reason I say that is the casing for it is already very, very rusty within a few weeks. Despite the fact the lubrication has been extensive, I don't know. I just got no faith in it, to be honest. I could have bought the higher spec British parts, but I wanted to see if this was a one-off or not. At the moment, the jury's out on that. I have changed the battery on this bike this winter. My fault entirely. It was working perfectly all right, but it's had a lot of time standing and I didn't get my charger on it when I should have done. Hold my hands up there. My fault entirely. And yeah. Oh, so I'll go that way. Save load, chaps. Don't want to interrupt their little convo. Anything else that's not wanting to play ball? Well, you can see things like there's a bit of rust type finish on the bottom of the mirrors. Been like that since the first winter. They've not got any worse, so I've just left it. And to be quite honest with you, it doesn't bother me. I run it on E5 and E10 fuel, most of the time on E10 out of sheer convenience. Although I'm running E5 today because I just happened to be going past an E5 garage, so I took advantage. That's looking cool, isn't it? Looks good. Now I think this is where I want to be going. I might of course have screwed it up, but that's part of the fun of it.
dedicated followers of the channel will also remember that the speedo cable broke straight after an MOT. Do you know, that completely slipped my memory at the time, but there you go, must add that to the list.
I'll know in a minute. So yeah, there's been a few things go, but nothing horrendous. Changing oils, I wouldn't say a doddle, it's just the usual palaver really. I'd prefer it if you had a cartridge filter, and I'd prefer it if I didn't have to fanny around with 2 bolts at the sump and then take the strainer out, give that a go. You know, there are times where some of these things are just a pain in the backside. So what would I change if I could? Right, well, as it stands, this is meant to be Royal Enfield Bullet 500 Trials Works replica. That's what it says on the side of the bike. There is no way on earth this is a Trials Works replica. Far too heavy, far too bulky, far too road orientated. It's just not in any way, shape or form like that. So it needs to lose from the crate, I would say something like about 50-60 kilograms at least. You're not going to be able to do that. I mean, I'd have to change the wheels, tank, mudguard, some of the rear subframe would have to go. Probably a lighter saddle as well. You know, loads of stuff would have to change. There's absolutely no way that's going to be viable, because once you've done all that, the other thing it's going to need is what do they call those things? Oh yeah, suspension. This suspension is rock hard. It's great on the road. I mean, it's not refined, but it's a real sporty ride, and as such it's fantastic. But as soon as you go on anything dirt track, you're at the mercy of the bike. And quite frankly, that's just not a tenable proposition. Yeah, so it's going to need to turn it into a half decent off-road or green lane capable bike, I should say. Quite a lot doing to it. It's not friendly on these, even on these really easy green lanes. And so yeah, I think it's horrific for that kind of thing. As Nathan Millwood said, you feel sometimes like taking it as far as it'll go and then just setting fire to it, because it's just horrific at times. But the flip side of that is it's absolutely hilarious, because it is so bad. And on the right terrain, it will just take chunks out of the mountain. It's evil. Absolutely evil it is. It's hard work, it's heavy. On the road it's lovely. Off-road it's monumental, is the best way I can describe it. Monumental. And that's not a criticism, but it is a criticism. But it's part of why I really like this bike. So I kept it 5 years. It doesn't get used much, but it lives outside. God, look at that. Wow. Yeah, so this bike lives outside 24/7. I was trying to think, has it ever spent a night indoors in my hands? There is a... Wow, look at that. There is a possibility it has. I will be honest with you. It might have spent one night undercover. In a police station, but that's another story which we won't go into. Oh, God, this is wonderful. So Bella's to my, well, it's over there sort of thing now. It's my 12 o'clock at the minute. Over there sort of Bella. That looks like a beacon or a feed tower up the top there. I'm heading in a general direction towards Porthmadog, I suppose, over that way, and Snowdon Massif is to my right. God, this is wonderful. Absolutely fantastic. I say I'm not flying along, I'm just pottering along. And this is when these bikes, these bullets, really come into their own. They just do it all. They just get on with it. They're in charge. And I think this is how the old Himalayan 411 did so well, because it took the weak points of this and has taken over, and it's done the right thing. That's jolly good. This is what I wanted. I wanted a right turn. There you go, Bella. See? Bella, told you. You think I'm making that rubbish up, don't you? Well, there you go. God, it's gorgeous round here, isn't it? Hey. I bet you wish you lived in a place like this.
Although I keep moaning about the bike, you can tell I really do have a certain love-hate relationship with it, and I really do like it. So join me again in the next part where you'll get some more musings and enjoy, hopefully, my little ride to celebrate my 5 years of ownership. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.